I'm Zero. I'm Ian. I'm Ken. Mr. TV. Mr. TV. Mr. TV.
Welcome to episode 17 of Mr. TV, a video podcast featuring tech topics from Japan. I'm Ian.
And I'm Hiro. Today we will talk about Android and iOS smartphone devices battle in Japan.
Not just smartphones, though.
Yeah.
We should include things like tablets.
Yes.
And like, for instance, Sharp's new product announcement.
Yeah, they launched a new gadget for iPad and iPod Touch Killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they launched that kind of gadget based on Android.
Yeah. In the past, they would have probably developed their own OS, as Japanese manufacturers have been known to do.
Yeah.
So it's quite a turn up for it to be based on Android.
Yes.
Even the name Galapagos is a tongue-in-cheek name. Can you explain why?
Yeah, Galapagos is explaining how the Japanese mobile phone Keitai market is. So it is describing the phenomenon of the product or society evolving isolated from the globalization. So also we call it Keitai. So we don't call it mobile phone Keitai.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about the devices themselves?
Yeah, the Sharp's Galapagos is consisted by two devices.
Mm-hmm.
One is for like this size, for reading books, magazines, and one for small iPod Touch, like this, reading some comics or small books.
Yeah, they're both slightly bigger.
Yeah,
I think what they call the home model is 10.8 inches screen, and the mobile version is 5.5. But as there's the hardware specs, but also interestingly enough, they also have 30,000 books ready to be bought.
Yeah, it's the most important part. Even on iPad, and then Kindle, we cannot get Japanese books. So people in Japan want to read books or magazines, comics on these kind of devices, but cannot buy the books. So that's a huge problem we have.
Yes. Well, setting aside the Kindle for a moment, it seems to be the battle seems to be between iOS and Android. So the iPad and the iPhone 4 are very popular in Japan. Do you think that will continue?
Yeah, maybe. Next few half years or next year, iPhone's devices, iOS can keep the current market share, but Android will getting bigger.
Right.
In this market.
We have a graph showing 2009 and 2010.
Yeah.
We're not finished 2010, so they're maybe based on predictions or sales so far. 2009.
Yeah. 46% of the smartphone market is by iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So not iOS devices, but iPhone share have a 46% of new current smartphone users.
Yeah. But that share seems to be down in 2010.
Yeah.
And the increase is in Android devices.
It's like a Macintosh and Windows.
Right. Actually, if you look at the figures that are on screen now, Windows Mobile has got quite a big share. That surprised me when I first saw it. Do you think there will be much development in Windows Mobile?
I think the old smartphone users like ATC devices and old Sharp devices that's using Windows Mobile. So new smartphone user never buy Windows Mobile, I think.
Right.
So they will lose their share.
Right. Yeah. Also, the trend is similar in America, where because the iPhone is locked down to one network carrier, AT&T. In Japan, it's locked down to SoftBank. that gives the advantage to Android device makers. So for Android mobile smartphones, they're available on each of the big networks, Docomo, AU, and SoftBank themselves. So that's a big advantage in hardware terms. Plus, of course, you shouldn't forget about the iPads, the iPads, and other devices that are coming from China. Yeah, which you can find in Denton or Akihabara in Tokyo. So hardware-wise, it seems like Android's catching up, and there's going to be more choice. But as we know, hardware is only half the story. There's software and developers. Can you tell us a bit more about how that's turning out?
Yes, the interesting thing is on smartphone culture in Japan and global market looks same. So we don't make another Galapagos on smartphone culture in Japan. So like the US or other countries, most of people can purchase App Store if you have iPhone. But if you have Android device, it's hard to find out the live applications or how to purchase application. The same things happen. So developers, if you're developers, you can get chance to split your product if you choose the iOS platform.
Yeah. How about big companies, established companies? Any Android app makers?
Yeah, the Hudson and Konami, these kind of Japanese big game companies try to develop or already launch their own application for Android users. So they had a success on App Store, iOS side. So they started to try to spread their product on Android users.
Right. Like, do they have any problems?
Yeah, huge problem they have. That's a payment method. So if, like I said, so iOS devices, they own a payment platform like iTunes Music Store, iTunes stores. That kind of platform. But on Android side, they don't have a chance to buy application or that kind of basic platform. So I asked to my Twitter followers, someone who using Android phone in Japan, and the reply say they have to use the Google Checkout. To register their credit card and purchase through the Google Checkout. Some of Japanese mobile phone carrier try to launch their own payment method, but not much users switch to the new payment platform. So most of people using the Google Checkout. So that's the big advantage of it.
Yeah. But the big downside of the iOS App Store is the app approval process. And in other countries, developers complain that the App Store, the rules about being approved or reviewed or waiting for approval, things like that, they aren't that fair or they aren't that clear. Are there any similar complaints for Japanese developers?
Totally same complaint most of Japanese developers have. So, but they have complained, but they have a chance to split their product. So they have to choose the iOS platform. So, but in the future, if the Android can build up their payment process or app stores like application platform, people can choose the Android market to spread their product.
One other thing you learned from your Twitter users is that potentially a bigger problem for Android developers is that Android smartphone users don't buy apps.
Yeah.
That could be a better product.
Yeah, it's like a open source product and proprietary software. So people don't want to pay extra money for their product softwares.
But having said that, there are so many free apps in App Store, Apple's App Store, so that are advertiser sponsored.
Yeah.
So maybe that could be a way for Android app makers to make money.
And Google, don't forget that Google is the biggest advertising company. So
Right.
We hope that Google support Android developers in that kind of way.
Yeah. They do have regular Android development
Studying session.
Yeah, studying sessions.
Around Japan, many cities in Japan these days they have some big session. So one by Google or other open source community. So we can join that kind of event around the world, around Japan.
Yeah. So maybe learning to make Android apps will be easier compared to making iOS apps. Yeah. Well, that's all we have time for this episode. We've been thinking about our format and making our episodes a little shorter.
Yeah, shorter. YouTube size.
YouTube size. And if you have any comments or about this episode or the new format, please leave a comment below, or you can send us tweets.
Yeah, twitter.com/MesaTV, or please give us email, mesatv@gmail.com.
And of course, if you like the show, please tell your friends or subscribe to us on iTunes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
See you next time.